What's going on, fam? Welcome back to another Extra Thirsty. It's your boy, Papa Swolio. We have 5 on the motherfucking clock, and today I want to talk about Jocko Willink being on the Joe Rogan podcast and something very important that they were talking about in terms of social media. So if you don't know who Jocko Willink is, he is a retired Navy SEAL. He's a gangster. He's a badass. And he is a very, very, very inspirational person to millions of people. If you haven't checked out his podcast, Jocko Podcast, it's great. They're long, but they are fucking inspiring. And I've had many members say that they listen to my podcast, listen to Joe Rogan's podcast, listen to Jocko's podcast, and even to be mentioned in the same breath or sentence as that dude is a fucking honor. So if you haven't checked him out, go check it out. I'm sure it's going to be a great podcast, but I caught the beginning portion of it because it was just released today, and they were talking about social media designed to anger you. They're talking about social media being designed to trigger those kinds of emotions, those negative emotions, which gets people to click on things, which incites anger, which is what we're dealing with in society today. But it's also a lot of what community is all about in terms of your environment for staying focused on your shit with your fitness, with your training, with your nutrition. You know, there's so much stuff out there and there's so many voices. It's important to stay focused. And something that Jocko said was he spent his entire career teaching people in the military to maintain their emotion, to not get emotionally, not invested, but to not get emotional about situations, because when you're emotional, you make terrible decisions. When you're emotional, you just make bad choices. So the whole fucking thing that triggered off in my brain is facts over feelings. It's facts over feelings. It's what is actually happening and then how you feel about the situation. So objectively, things go down in your life. Objectively, you are either going to have something good or fortunate happen to you. You're going to have unfortunate things happen to you. You're going to have good, quote, relative, of course, good things happen to you. You're going to have bad things happen to you. But those things that happen to you are things that are happening. Now, they are happening regardless of whether you maybe want them to happen. They're things out of your control. But when we internalize things that are out of our control, when we let other people's biases, when we let other people's philosophies, when we let things that we see in the news and on these social media apps invade our brain to the point where we are getting emotional about it, we are formulating an emotional reaction, then it becomes something within ourselves, and then it becomes a real roadblock. Then it becomes something that we're dealing with tangibly in our life. And it's very important to understand that every time you open this app, every time you open YouTube and you're watching me, every time you're listening to anything on social media, anytime you're listening to anything, anywhere, this is going in your brain. Your brain is absorbing this. You are formulating thoughts, feelings, memories about this aspect, about this topic, about this situation, whatever it is. Whatever it is. Obviously, the world is a tumultuous place all the time, and exceptionally so now. And you're getting eye-fucked on every single corner. You're getting eye-fucked about everything from your friends, from your family, and this can negatively impact your life. What I mean by that is there are people that are talking shit about things that they can't control, things that you can't control, and you're dealing with this in reality when there's nothing you can do about it. Like, there's nothing you can do about it. Is that something that you should be focusing on? Is that something you should be getting emotionally invested about? I don't think so. I don't think that's something that you should be getting wrapped up to the point where it negatively affects you with stress, that it negatively affects your mood, that it negatively affects, because that would negatively affect your workouts, your fitness, your nutrition. It's dominoes. It's so many habits, like the habits and the people that you surround yourself with, the information you surround yourself with, the manner in which you absorb information and outside stimuli. It's very important. And not enough people talk about that in terms of overall wellness, in terms of managing stress, sleeping better at night, having more positive interactions with people around you. And if you're surrounding yourself with shit, guess what? You're going to have a shitty day. You're going to have a shitty life. You're going to have a lot of stress that you're trying to manage. And a lot of the stuff that we internalize is stuff that's out of our control. So why are we stressing about it? Why are we stressing about it? And it's important to hear intelligent people and people that have a lot of experience with real stress, like Jocko, in war. And we're talking fucking stress, like people fucking dying. Things that myself and most people, most of you watching this, have no idea about, know nothing about. Like that means a lot. That means a lot. It's one thing for me to say it. It's one thing for someone like Jocko to say it. It's important to maintain your sanity. It's important to maintain your focus and not get emotional. And meditation helps a lot with that, but we'll talk about that in another Extra Thirsty. We'll go into it more depth. Drop a comment down below. Did you watch the full episode? Have you watched Jocko's content before? Do you follow him? Do you listen to his podcast? What are your thoughts about surrounding yourself with good people? What are your thoughts about social media and the media just infiltrating your brain? What are your thoughts about how that fucking your ear holes and your eye holes affects you in your life and your overall wellness and your focus? So thank you so much for watching, fam, and I'll see you next time for some more thirst quenching juice. You know you like that sauce, don't you? Peace out, fam.
We go from humble to flexing. You DM, I'm texting, she hit me right back. I'm on the move, I'm not stressing. The king to these peasants, you know that's a fact. Y'all hate the press, y'all elect him. A press for 11, I gave him a stack. I use these words as my weapon, the demon, the session, we killing the pack. We go from humble to flexing. You DM, I'm texting, she hit me right back. I'm on the move, I'm not stressing.